Hello. Hello. Okay. Okay, I'm in. Hello, co-workers. Good evening, everyone here. Hope you're all having a very good day. I am debating if I need to put any type of background music in here, but I don't know what I can really put without getting like a DMCA or copyright strike or something or whatever. But I will figure it out as I go along here. I don't really have a format for this stream this time around. I figured I wanted to do some sort of like talking stream, yapping stream in general. So I figured I'd just talk about Otome games because it's been a while. I yap about it all the time, occasionally on Twitter and with like anyone who talks to me in real life, but I figured why not just talk about it on stream since I haven't really done so. So there is really no format, no method in this madness really. I'm just gonna talk about the games I've played and stuff like that. But like, I guess in terms of Otome games, I've been playing Otome games for quite some time now. I would say for like two decades. Or actually, if I think about it, so I'm trying to think of the very first Otome game I've ever really played. Because I played there's games with dating sim elements. Kind of like, you know, you think Harvest Moon or like Fire Emblem or Rune Factory. Like there's games with dating sim concepts to them. I think that was like probably my first exposure, like my gateway to the Otome genre before I knew what the Otome genre was. So I actually started off with Harvest Moon. So it was like Harvest Moon, more Friends of Mineral Town. That was like the very first Harvest Moon game I played, and that introduced the dating sim element to me. So that's kind of what I started with in terms of playing it. And then afterwards I was like, wow, I kind of like the aspect they had, you know, where you have heart events with the bachelors and bachelorettes. And so I was like, oh, how do I get more of this? So then that kind of led me to finding Otome games. Let's see if I can get some music up here. And some lo-fi. Okay. I don't know if this is fitting. I just want to set some any kind of lo-fi music. Yeah. Maybe I'll turn it down a bit. Let's play that. I don't know. It sounds fine on my end. But it's really loud, you guys can tell me. In any case. But yeah, so Harvest Moon is where it started. And then I went into Otome games. And from there, that's when I found out that there was like an entire thing for like dating sims for girls. And I tried to think the very first one I ever played. I want to say I definitely remember the first PSP one I played, but in terms of the very first PC game I played was a game called Yojimbo. That was the very first Otome game I ever done. I feel like I need to pull up a browser here so I can show you guys this game, because it was certainly an experience. Yeah, let's do this. I pull this up here. Yeah, pull it in the corner there or something like that. There, I'll just take up majority of screen. So this is the first Otome game I have ever played on PC. Like, this is way back in the day before, you know, we started getting mobile games. So I mean, I've been around for whatever, a couple centuries and whatnot, but like way back in the day there just wasn't localized Otome games. Like that wasn't a thing, you know, at all. So Yojimbo was like one of the first localized Otome games like ever in the West that you can play in English. So I ended up playing this game, and it's really, really funny because I feel like no one really talks about this, or maybe no one as old as I am, but no one really talks about this game. But it was hilarious. This game was so unserious, you guys. Like the whole plot of Yojimbo, if I can vaguely remember, because God, it was so long ago. Like the plot of this game is that this girl, I don't know how she like finds or gets this pendant, and then oh yeah, the pendant is actually like belongs to this like princess or wherever from ye olde Japan, but like this princess like died or something, and so our protagonist from the modern world ends up going like back in time or something to inhabit like the princess's body, which sounds like the plot for a lot of the Otome webtoons, to be honest. So some things have not changed. This formula has not changed for quite some time. So I remember, yeah, she had a pendant, she like went back in time, she's like whatever transmigrated into this girl's body or whatever, and then you have all these like bachelors. I don't know, I don't have a good picture of all of them here. Something like this, it's hard to see, but anyways, you got these bachelors for like, I remember one of them was like a Ronin, the other one was like a monk or something, and then I think one of them was like her bodyguard. It was some like older guy. Yeah, it was like him or something. Yeah, he was like one of her retainers or bodyguard or whatever. So he was like an older character too. So I feel like that's a thing I have not really seen now a lot of times in newer Otome games. It's kind of dating an actual older looking guy with like the facial hair and build and everything. So he was one of the choices, and then oh my god, the funniest one, this game was very unserious. So it takes place right in the old Japan, God knows when, Sengoku era, maybe even earlier. But then for some reason everyone talked in modern slang. And they made so many references to like pop culture and memes at that time. And not to mention this guy, I forgot his name. Oh yeah, Itosai. That was his name, Itosai. He was like he's like, I forget, I think he was definitely a villain in this game. And then you're like playing this game, all these samurais and like whatever in like feudal Japan or wherever, and then this guy shows up in like his TM Revolution Hot Limit outfit. And he's just, no one comments on this. Like, this guy is like basically shirtless with only a cape. This other guy is literally just wearing some weird bondage gear, and Anyways, fashion disasters, but whatever. It was really, really funny. And like, I could not take it seriously when they showed up on screen. Like, he's supposed to be some like big baddie, some like villain or whatever, but I'm just like, you can't expect me to feel like, you know, I'm supposed to be scared of this guy when he is literally walking in on screen wearing this. And I mean, the art, his face looks kind of funny here too. The art was, you know, a reflection of its time. So the art is, you know, a little outdated in some areas, but I think it kind of adds to its charm in its own way. It's it's endearing in its own sense. So it's I don't even, I try to remember the plot of it, but I don't know, something about her, she had to like go travel somewhere, and then she needed some bodyguards to look after her during this journey or something, and that's where the bachelors come in this game. And then of course, you know, they can like fall in love and whatnot, but yeah, this was this is such an old game, but this is literally the first, anyways, to say this was the first PC Otome game I played. So, I mean, it's not the most amazing thing out there, but it was certainly funny. It was certainly a relic of its time. I feel like I would still replay it if I got the chance to, because it was just really, really fun. That was the first PC one. And then the first the first PSP game, I remember back before, you know, I feel like one of the first PSP games that came out for Otome games localized in the West was like Hakuoki. So I think it was a very long time ago. Hakuoki, yeah, it was this one, Hakuoki, Demon of the Fleeting Blossom. So this was this is also one of the earlier Otomes that I played, and I remember I saw it come out and I was like, oh my god, I need to buy this. It was like some special edition that came with the art book of the game and also like CD soundtrack of it. It was nice, you know. It came with the game, the art, the music. So it was at the time, it was, you know, there wasn't really any other like it. So yeah, this was like the exact one I got. And so yeah, I started off then with Hakuoki as like you know, those handheld console Otome game. And that was actually pretty fun. I mean, Hakuoki has been around for a long time now. Like, I feel it's really stood the test of time, considering I feel like they've had what, Hakuoki on PSP. They also did like, I'm pretty sure they re-released it for like PS Vita, and then I feel like there's gotta be one for the Switch too. Do they have one for the Switch? Okay, they do. So yeah, so Hakuoki has gotten like a re-release or sequel at like every, I would say, like portable handheld from Nintendo or in PlayStation. So PSP, PS Vita, and now it's also on the Switch as well. I've only really played the first one that came out from PSP. I know there's like other sequels that have been out since then, so I don't know. Hakuoki has had like a bunch of sequels and re-releases and ports, but it is a pretty solid Otome game, considering it was like one of the first ones to come to the West. It's got the romance, it's got gorgeous art, it's got great voice acting, it's got like the historical drama in it. So to me, I only really played it once because I felt like it is very heavy on the historical side of things. So sometimes I just especially, after going through school and work and stuff. I don't really want to get like read a lot, or I guess a lot of heavy content. Sometimes I want a lighter read, and Hakuogi is so baked into historical references that I feel I have to like really sit down and read through. I can't just casually skim through the game. So I haven't really played the sequels to it, I guess. But I have watched the anime because they released 2 seasons of Hakuoki. So there was 2 seasons of Hakuoki that were by the anime Studio Dean, which I thought was funny because a lot of Studio Dean anime is hit or miss. Some of it looks really ugly, to be honest. Well, but for some reason, when Studio Dean did the Hakuoki anime, they actually made it look really good. So I was surprised. Like the Hakuoki anime was not bad compared to some other otomes that get animes later on, and they just don't do it justice, unfortunately. And I know, like, it seems like they finally decide to release the Hakuoki SSL Sweet School Life, which I know a lot of people were asking for. So that's been years and years until they finally released it. I didn't play this because I wasn't really in the mood for a school setting, especially after so long. I would have played it maybe back when back around the time I started playing Hakuoki, but now I'm like kind of craving other stuff aside from a school setting when it comes to otomes, So I prefer some other settings, but I honestly think this was a really good like kind of introduction for me into the otome genre. So I'm really glad that it got released, in the West when it did. Because on like PC was Yojimbo, PSP was Hakuoki. And then I actually I want to talk about Tokimeki Memorial as well. So Tokimeki Memorial. So I want to go talk a little bit into it because Tokimeki Memorial Girls Side, I will literally talk to anyone who wants to hear about it. Because Tokimeki Memorial Girls Side, so this game was never officially localized, which makes me so upset. It actually makes me so sad because it is such a good series. And like, I feel that it had so much potential if it just came over to the West. I feel like the Western audience got introduced to it, they would love it. It was just such a solid game. It had such interesting mechanics. So like Tokimeki Memorial, I feel like, to me, it is literally the mother or grandmother of stat raising otome games. Like there are, a very few, but there are some stat raising otomes out there. I feel like they're very far and like very few. There are very few of them overall, which is a little sad. I mean, most of them are visual novels, got a very nice story, but I feel like Tokimeki is such like the foundational otome stat raiser that I feel like even to this day, no other otome has been able to achieve the same level of mechanics that Tokimeki Memorial did. And so I guess for those of you who don't really know what the series is, it is, as I said, a stat raising otome. So you are a high school girl and you're starting off you go through 3 years of high school, And then during those 3 years, you'll meet, all these different guys, the bachelors, that you can, try to win their hearts. And so you have to raise your stats like charm, intelligence, like physical, like all of that. And you want to raise it in a way that will appeal to the love interest that you're going for. So especially in like the early stage, like Tokimeki 1 or 2, they lean a lot into the tropes. So it's like, oh, if you want to go for a sporty love interest, you'd have to, build up your like physical stats, like physical and charm, but you can let your intelligence stats drop. Because that's the thing too, whenever you raise stat, it in one area it drops in other areas. So you focus only on sports, your, I guess, intelligence level will drop, and vice versa. If you only do studying, your physical levels will drop. So you have to like balance it and appeal to the love interest of your choice that you want to pursue. And you got like, it's funny when I see like these are the guys from the first game, I'm like, oh man, yeah, they kind of look a little dated, from way back. But so there is, yeah, so essentially you're supposed to raise your stats, and then at the end of the 3 years, you go to the wherever meeting place, which is usually like, oh, some, the church of legend, that they're like, oh, if you confess your love in that church, you and your partner will be together forever, sort of thing. So you like go there, and then you basically hope that he's there too, so you can like confess your feelings. And then once, if he accepts it, you get like the good ending. But sometimes you like go through the 3 years of raising your stats, and at the end of it, he's not even there. So it is possible that you go through an entire run and you didn't raise your stats well enough, and you don't end up with anyone, and then you have to like start over again to try and get those stats up. But it's not just that, what was really amazing about Tokimeki Memorial was like there was so much side content that happens. Like your character, has to get a part-time job so she can save up money, so she can buy clothes. And like there is like kind of like a dress-up mini game in Tokimeki Memorial. And so like you're supposed to buy clothes, and so when you like go on dates with these guys all have like fashion styles that they prefer. So you then, if you want to appeal to him, you just like wear clothes that he'd like. So you kind of, and then, but the thing is, you can go shopping for clothing, and you can like mix and match your like top and bottoms and like accessories and stuff. So it's like a little fun like fashion dress-up game in there before you go on dates. And if he likes what you're wearing, he'll even comment on it. So there's a fashion part, there's the stat raising part, of course, and then there's, especially when you get into like the later games, that's game number 3 is the third one, like Tokimeki Memorial Girls Side, third story. That was like my favorite one. And in that game they also had skin chip, so that you can like poke, basically you can poke at the guys during the dates. And then you could also there's dialogue options where you talk to them. So yeah, you can go on dates with them, to places like the aquarium or arcade, all typical anime trope dating spots. And then you can, basically poke and prod at them. Sometimes it raises their affection, but if you poke the wrong way, it actually decreases the affection. Then they also had an interesting mechanic in the third game, which was also the 3P route, which is like kind of like the love triangle route. So instead of, you're like going after one guy and just one guy, in the third game, there was a mechanic where you can actually end up getting into a love triangle with two other guys at the same time, and then it kind of unlocks additional like date options and dialogue and events that occur. So it was kind of cool to see them utilize that, because I know some people don't really like love triangles in shoujo manga, for example, or in their games, but I like that they actually played around with that idea, because I kind of appreciate when there's different types of mechanics baked into an Otome game. Like, sure, I like to enjoy reading the novels side of things, but I like it even better when they have a unique mini game or something in addition to that. So, oh yeah, my favorite thing too about the third Tokimeki Memorial game is that they had a angel or devil route that you can go on. So you can choose to be a very like kind, sweet, pure-hearted heroine who's like always super nice, kind of naive in a sense. So you can choose dialogue options to make yourself that sort of heroine, or my favorite, which you can go the what they call like the sweet devil route. So your main character then becomes more like a teasing, mischievous protagonist. She'll like poke and prod the guy. She'll like tease them, kind of like playful skinship in there, and also like light bullying in a sense. So she becomes like more like proactive as a protagonist, and I really enjoy that, because I felt like in the early days there was a lot of Otome heroines that were like the very sweet and kind types, which is nice. There's totally, they are still very good heroines, but it was really nice to see or be able to play as a more forward, proactive, teasing, bully, like like teasing type. And it's like, I say bullying, but it's like a very light type of bullying, like light head chops to the guys, or just like pushing their buttons essentially. But it was fun, and it kind of you can then be able to play as a different type of protagonist, so you could essentially play this game over again many times, for different guys, for the 3P route, and for like the type of personality that you would play as during the game. And in the third game too, you get some best friends, because in the first two Tokimeki Memorial games you had like rivals. So if you weren't fast enough or didn't fulfill the requirements well enough to get the love interest at the end, your rival will actually just steal him from you. So that was like the first two games, but then in the third game they introduced your besties, so you get two best friends instead that can like tell you what the guy's like, or like give you advice. So they were so fun. I loved them. I really liked how they introduced that in the third game. So it's just so well done. Like, these are so many mechanics that were happening in here, which I still haven't really seen in other games. Like, no one really utilizes that, or maybe it's like too much work to try to replicate that. So it makes me really sad that they never localized this, because it would do so well. I just really want to play. I just really want to replay it, because it has such high replay value. Unfortunately, I never really got the chance. So I was playing using fan patches, so on the DS. So I was playing on the DS and the PSP. I was just using like fan patches to like download the game. I never got a chance to play the fourth one. To be honest, the art style of the fourth game I didn't really like as much. I really liked how kind of like the first three games looked, especially the third game. Like, the third game I like the art style they used, but the fourth one I wasn't really too hot on. So there's that, and I just didn't really have a chance to be able to play it, even though it came out on the Switch. So hopefully, maybe one day they will actually release it, localize it. I will sign whatever petition that's required. I will spread the agenda to everyone. Be like, please, if you play Otome games, if you think you might be into stat raisers, please consider checking out Tokimeki Memorial Girl Side. It's literally the foundation of stat raising Otomes. It's just that good. And I feel like around the time too, I remember stat raisers used to be more of a thing in the past, because there were also like indie games or fan-made games that are floating around the internet that were stat raising too. Just like I remember Practices Games. She used to make a lot of or I say she, but maybe they make a lot of their own, I guess, dating sims. So there's a lot of dating sim types. What is it? Yeah, the Practices. Yeah, all the Flash dating sims, basically. I used to play so many of these in the past, and it's pretty crazy how many there are. Like Number Days Sim, Lunar Days Sim Day, Chrono Days. I'm pretty sure I played like most of these, if not all of these games. So these are also stat raisers. So you're like going around, I don't know, maybe like working a job to get money to buy stuff in the game, and then you're choosing where you want to go for the day. You only have a certain amount of action points or things that you can take, and then some of them you might have to raise your stats to get like some good endings. So this is certainly a blast from the past. This is what I used to play when I didn't have any other dating sim options, because nothing was localized then, right? Nothing was available at that time. So it's like, this is a big part of my childhood. I was just playing through this. So I think that's like, yeah, those are like the starting games. They're like Flash games. That's Tokimeki Memorial, Yojimbo, Hakuoki. That's like where it all started. And then from there, I started more Otome games started getting localized, and that's when I like started playing more that were available in English. So I'm just trying to think, because I feel like PS Vita is when I started like buying more Otome games to play. I'm trying to remember which ones that I had. I think definitely like Nor 9 was one. So there's Nor 9, Code Realize, and Color X Malice. Yeah, those are like the three that I remember like really playing on the PS Vita when it came out. The only thing is like some of the games can be quite pricey. So as like the consoles got upgraded, I started buying less Otome games, because it got kind of pricey to keep up with it. But I really enjoyed Code Realize. I would say like Code Realize is one of my favorites, with like the steampunk era setting, and the art was really good. I really enjoyed the story as well. So Code Realize, Color X Malice. I know Code Realize has gotten like ports to the Switch as well, but yeah, I played it back on the PS Vita there. But Yeah, Code Realize was one where like I really liked the protagonist, like Cardia. Like I thought she was a very good protagonist. She was like one where, because usually I don't really go for the more demure, I'd say demure, but like the more kind of demure, soft-spoken protag, but I love Cardia. Especially like her whole background story and how she develops through the game. I really enjoyed that. So she was a really good protagonist. The art was really nice for Cold Realize. I really liked the steampunk world that they were in. And I kind of liked all the guys too. Yeah, the story was really interesting. And then I remember, yeah, in Cold Realize you had to go through everyone's route, and then like Arsène Lupin is like the last one you can unlock after you complete everyone else's route. And I was like, okay, fine, you know, I'll play through everyone else. But I was actually surprisingly delighted at the other routes, because some Otome games, I only played the route for the guy that, you know, I want to go for, and sometimes I ignore all the other love interests. But nowadays, a lot of games, you have to actually go through everyone's route before you get the final guy. So I end up playing through everyone's routes anyways. Oh, hi, Lily William. It's nice to see you tonight. Got any fave Otome characters? Oof, that's so hard. Because that's basically asking me what... I've got so many fave Otome games that choosing my fave Otome character is hard. I mean, I could tell you my favorites, like, I guess the character, yeah, love interest, bachelor, I guess, from each game. Funny enough, in Cold Realize, my favorite was Impy, actually. Impy Barbicane. He was actually my fave. With second being like Lupin. Is it Lupin or Lupin? Whatever. Lupin. Or Saint Lupin. He was second. But Impy was yeah, Impy was my first fave. Top 20. Okay. I can't pull up all my Otome games because I talked about in Tokimeki Memorial. If I go back, talk about Tokimeki. So in Tokimeki Memorial, in the third game, my favorite was this guy, Nina Junpei. Which was kind of interesting because he's like the flirty type. He's actually your kohai in the game, so he's a year younger, and he's kind of seems like the flirty, playful type. But then he gets very flustered if you are like you flirt back at him and like sweet devil route, or you like tease him. He actually folds pretty quickly, so he was very cute. So he was my favorite. I really enjoyed bullying him. He was very fun to bully. 10 out of 10 would bully again. In the second Tokimeki game, I want to see if they have. Yeah, this guy. It was the teacher, because yes, the teachers are secret routes in the Tokimeki series. So Wakauji Sensei was my favorite in the second game for Tokimeki Memorial. This is where it started, you know, like the trope, like we're hot for teacher or whatever. This was like my gateway point into that trope, where it's just like he was whatever your homeroom teacher that you can end up with. And yeah, Code Realize was MP, and then I also let's see, Collar X Malice. My favorite in Collar X Malice was it's Ajin. I think that's his name. He was like the black-haired guy. But yeah, I think it was like, I forgot. Now I'm blanking out. Ajin or something like that. I don't know. until someone corrects me. Yeah, IG. Okay, so I was close. His name is IG. So yeah, but I remember they usually call him Yanagi, so I forgot. But yeah, IG Yanagi. So he was my favorite, and the code Caller X Malice. Funny enough, my least favorite in that game was this guy here, the one with yeah, Sazazuka, because he was such a jerk. I actually really liked his character outside of his route, but playing his route was like just did not sit with me. I just didn't like it. So he was my least fave, and yeah, my favorite in this game was IG. There, trying to think of others. Then there was one of my other favorites is Cupid Parasite. Cupid Parasite was so fun. I really enjoy like rom-coms. So like Cupid Parasite was such a fun, like colorful, wacky rom-com, and I loved it. I kind of want to play more rom-coms. And my favorite actually in this one was Shelby Snail. So he was just, I just thought he was kind of funny. He's like the CEO type, but then he's also like really out of touch with dating. So I thought he was a fun character. The other bachelors were interesting as well. I think like all their routes were entertaining in their own way. Like Cupid Parasite was such a trip. Especially it's like cause you have like the main character, right? Lynette, who is, well, she's Cupid. And so she's not human, but she comes to the human world. She's learned to live among humans and live her life as matchmaker, bridal consultant, or something like that. And then you have all these like hopeless guys that she's supposed to find, like supposed to match them up with. But it's such a fun cast of characters that it was a really fun game. I never played the fan disc because I feel like a lot of the times I end up playing the main game, but then never end up playing the sequel, the fan disc to it. I think mainly because so there's different types of Otome players I find, and I'm the type that prefers story over the romance part. So I actually don't mind if an Otome game doesn't have that much romance if it has a very good story. So most of the time I'm there for the story, and the romance is just kind of like secondary, which is kind of funny considering an Otome game is essentially meant to be a romance, like dating sim. Another fave I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, Buster Fellows was also one that I played. That was also a fun game as well. Another one of the like you're following along the story, which was like a very interesting, like action-packed one. My favorite in Buster Fellows was Shu. So I wasn't actually expecting to like him that much. Yeah, I thought I would like Limbo more, but I actually ended up liking Shu, and I liked just like when I played through his route. I don't know. I think out of all the guys in this game, I guess playing his route gave me the most dokis. So he kind of wins in that regard. But I still liked a lot of the other guys too. Scarecrow was fun as a character. I really enjoyed it. In terms of the route, yeah, I enjoyed Shu's route, and actually also like Mosu's route. I think his route made me cry. Really enjoyed that. I thought Limbo's was okay. I thought I would like Limbo the most, but I think by the time I finish playing all of it, I still like Shu the best. So he'll still, I would say he's my fave in that regard. And I was like, oh, what other games had I'm just going through now all the games I've like playing or have played, and I'll just like point out my faves in the game as I talk about them. But because right now for Bustafellows, there is Bustafellows Season 2, which I think has been released. So I'm very tempted to get it because I want to play I want to play more because I really enjoy the cast. So I'm hoping to get a chance to play the second game as well. But they've been releasing a lot of Otome games in general, which I'm quite happy about, because when I think about, you know, where the state of the market was when I first played Otome games compared to where it is now, like I went from having literally no options to having too many options now. Like there's so many choices for Otome games. You can play on mobile, you can play on PC, you can play on the Switch, or there's so many options. I'm actually in like a choice paralysis. I can't decide which ones I should actually play. So Bustafellows Season 2 is on that list. Same with Arcana Familia, because Arcana Familia is like an older game that didn't get localized until like very recently. So I kind of want to play it because, you know, it's been a long time coming. So hoping to play that, and I think there's another one coming out in the fall. What's I think it's like Mistonia no Kibo. Yeah, this one. I'm also thinking of getting this game too when it comes out. Comes out in the fall. I'm kind of blocking the view. Maybe I should just move myself to the left. Yeah, there you go. I'll move myself to the left so you guys can actually see the photos a little better. But yeah, I thought this was like, you know, it looked cool. It has very gorgeous art. I also like the plot of it. It sounds like the plot's gonna revolve around the main character trying to get revenge, essentially. So she is working as a maid at some mansion or wherever, and she's like plotting her revenge. So I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting. I want to see how that plot plays out. You know, the art is really pretty. I'm curious to see, you know, how the story will unfold with all the different potential love interests here. I also just like the main character's design. I guess I don't really see a lot of glasses wearing or Megane type heroines, so I will look forward to this one. So yeah, that's only 3 games in my backlog of list of games I want to play. Though I also feel like it's there's also a lot of indie games too. Oh my goodness, because these are all like, you know, Otome or like big like Axis Games, Otome, just like big publishers that are localizing these games. But there's actually so many indie games now too, like people just making their own dating sims, which is really cool because, you know, now it feels more accessible to everyone. You can just, you know, make your own Otome or like, you know, make your own visual novel. So one of the ones I've been following, I played a demo of it already before, was Touch Starved. Yeah, so I supported them on Kickstarter way back, and they're still working on it, but it looked cool, and I enjoyed what I saw from the demo so far. So I will look forward to when this game finally gets released. From the demo alone so far, I liked Leander. So I guess I'll just have to wait patiently until I can play this game when it finally releases in full. But yeah, because I'm like, when I think about I played a lot of demos for dating sims and otomes on my channel, and a lot of demos are basically indie games that are like coming out. So you know, I'm keeping an eye on them. Keep an eye on those so I can play them in the future. But speaking, oh yeah, talk about in terms of mobile games as well. I used to play a bunch of like some mobile ones, but I actually don't really like mobile Otome games as much. Mainly like the Voltage stuff. I wasn't a really big fan. Cause I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so they have like a bunch of games and like Voltage. I'm trying to remember. I think I played Be My Princess. That was one of the older ones. So I played Be My Princess. I feel like I may have played Kissed by the Bad Bitter, but I don't remember. But I think I played Police one too. I don't know. To be honest, a lot of these games kind of look the same to me, so I get kind of confused. But I wasn't a big fan of the Voltage games. I felt like, I don't know, like maybe it's the art. A combination of the art and the characters as well. I just wasn't a big fan of a lot of the characters in these games. Like, I don't know. It's like something was missing, I felt. And it would take a long time to play through the routes, because you advance the story with tickets. So you only get like what, 5 or 10 tickets a day, and you read through a story, and then you have to wait for the tickets to replenish before you can continue reading the story. So that was kind of a bummer, because I'm the type that I either play and blaze through an entire Otome, or I put it down and completely forget about it. So for me, I can't really do the daily login sort of thing, because I like to be able to read like a chunk in one sitting. I don't like to kind of read snippets every day. I rather just like read everything at once in one day, so that I can really then enjoy the story. But I didn't want to pay for those tickets, so I rely on just free, whatever the free chapters per day, which, yeah, I think I just didn't really enjoy as much that way. The guys didn't really appeal to me. I think the characters are kind of lacking. Like, you ask me like, oh, what's your favorite character in a Voltage game? I'm like, to be honest, I don't even remember. It did not really stick with me. None of the characters really were memorable, so I just didn't really play them. But I did play Mystic Messenger. I played Mystic Messenger when I was out. I remember when it was like super popular too. I kind of miss the days of Mystic Messenger when everyone's like, yeah, let's play Mystic Messenger, you know, go and read your chat rooms at 3 a.m. in the morning. It was very unique premise at this time, and it was fun. The characters were fun. I really enjoyed playing through it. I think my favorite was actually what was his name? Yu-sung? I think that was his name. The blonde one. Okay, he was, I don't know, he was cute. So I just went for his route. I know like 707 was like really popular. really popular character from this game. But I like the Yu song from it, and it was cute. The Yu song, that's his name. There we go. But yeah, he was cute. I liked it. It was a fun game. So it's like, does anyone still play Mystic Messenger? I know like Chariots has actually came out with other games, but I don't think it really ever got as much spotlight as much as Mystic Messenger did. And I know there's other games now that kind of try to copy the same formula with like the chat room type dating sim with like, you know, sometimes they'll call you or send you messages on your phone, which at that time was like so unique, right? So new for its for the time that it came out in. Though now we just have Love and Deep Space does all of that. Which yeah, Love and Deep Space, oh my god. It's, I think, you know, in terms of Otome's players, I feel are kind of scattered around. I don't ever really meet a lot of Otome players in the wild, or like maybe they just kind of play it but they aren't really like huge fans of it. But Love and Deep Space is very interesting because, you know, after Mystic Messenger there wasn't really a Otome that everyone plays, you know? And then Love and Deep Space came along, and now it's like so massive, it's worldwide. So many girls are playing Love and Deep Space now. They have like events, character birthdays, get their own ads in malls. Now that there's meetup at convention now for Love and Deep Space, so it's pretty crazy when I think about it. But they've been doing a lot of good stuff for it. I still see, you know, updates and stuff from the game. I actually would play it more, but the problem is that my phone can't handle the size of this game because this game is massive. Absolutely gigantic. It takes up all of the room on my... I would literally have to delete all of my other apps to accommodate Love and Deep Space. So until I can get a new device that has that much memory set aside for it, I just haven't been able to play it. Because I think like literally there was one update that was so huge that I could not download it. I could not download the update. So yeah, it was just way too big. And I had to stop, which was a shame because it was pretty fun playing through the game and being in awe of how much work has gone into it. Because the story was, I actually am invested in the main story. Because from time to time I would log back in just to play the next update to the main story. And then of course, you know, there's all the guys that are in the game now. The only thing is I don't really have a favorite. I've been having a hard time trying to pick a favorite from Love and Deep Space. Like each of the guys have like elements that I like, you know, like tropes and elements and stuff that I enjoy, and other anime husbandos and whatnot. But there isn't like one that I'm like, oh my god, yeah, no, it's him, that one. So I don't know if any of you play Love and Deep Space, if you guys have a fave, your bias or your husband, where it is, let me know. I am indecisive. I cannot decide. I thought it was gonna be Raphael for a while, but then Silas came out and he was like really cool, and then Caleb came out and I'm like, oh, I really like Caleb's involvement in the main story. It was really interesting. I liked his dynamic with the MC, you know, there was like that tension they had. And I don't know. It was good. And it just made the choice harder. So whenever there's like banners, I'm like, I don't know, guys. I can't choose. I just picked the card I think that I like at the time, but I have no allegiance to a single single guy in this game so far. It's hard. I feel like Silas and Caleb are like the most popular right now. I don't know if that's true. I feel like maybe they're just the most vocal girls, like all the Caleb and Silas girlies. Because I feel like no one, there's like very few Xavier girlies, and like I know Zane is kind of still popular, but I hear about Xavier like the least. And then Raphael girlies, you know, here and there from time to time. I definitely see a bunch for like the fans of Caleb and Silas. I'm like, you know what, I can see the reason why. So yeah, I still remain indecisive. I think I just have to go in like deeper into the lore or something. I might just have to like read more of the stories or watch some of the myths, because god, I just could not pull all the cards needed to unlock the myths. So I think I just have to watch the story for them. Good. I remember though, like Xavier's one of because there's the myths, and then there's like the little text stories that you can read through. I did remember that Xavier's like a little story there like made me cry, because it was like the star-crossed lovers tragic romance that I was a sucker for. But I mean, they call it love and depression for a reason too, because the story does get like really tragic and dark at times. Especially, I'm like, we got so many timelines happening and someone always dies in one of those timelines. So I think I just have to read through them. But I'm kind of scared though of going down that rabbit hole, especially when I play so many other gacha games. I'm like, oh no. I know I'm going to get super invested if I go in too deep. Love and deep. Love and deep space. So for now, I just kind of wait until I can download the game without my device imploding in on itself from the sheer size of it downloading. You'll see there. But yeah, I kind of like it though, how, you know, it's gotten so big now. Because I remember when it first came out, you know, it was pretty popular for like, you know, whatever Otome mobile players. It was cool, but now I feel like it's gained a lot of traction. Now it's huge. I feel like for some people, Love and Deep Space is their first Otome game. Like, it is their first exposure, which is wild. And it's like, oh, at least you guys are getting fed well. Good story, content, good characters. Really gorgeous card, like, oh my god. There's so many banners that I was like, oh man, it's so nice. I want to pull for it. But I don't have the game right now. Maybe when it gets a rerun or something, I'll be able to download and play them again. I think, yeah, this is definitely the biggest Otome on mobile right now. So Love and Deep Space. Before that was Mystic Messenger. And yeah, I feel like there is, yeah, no other. It's like Love and Deep Space literally is the biggest Otome mobile one. I couldn't say for the other platforms. Like for the Switch is pretty scattered. I know there's a lot of people that kind of, you know, play some of the mainstream ones. No, I wouldn't say mainstream. Maybe like well known. Like Otome type Switch games. But I think I think everyone probably has played Hakogi or knows of Hakogi by now. A lot of people I know play Pio Fiore, I think. It's like the Mafia one. I actually didn't end up playing that one. Cause even though I'm like, ooh yeah, I would like a Mafia setting Otome, I think it was, I read there's quite some amount of like misogyny or something in there, so I was like, I don't know if I really want to go into that. Well, yeah, but it's gotten to the point now where I just can't keep up with the amount of Otome games getting released. Actually, what does the Otome game release look like for fall 2025? What kind of things get announced? Oh yeah, you know, there's Otome jams on like itch.io. It's all the indie games. Mistonia, which is one I'm looking forward to. Otome Dalshi looks really cute, but I know it's got mixed reviews on it. Over Requiems? Oh, I think that was one I was interested in. Red Bell's Lament came out during the summer. Have not played that. But yeah, there's just so many releases. I literally just cannot decide what to play. Because this is just for like Switch, you know, a lot of these. This doesn't even include stuff that comes out on like Steam and like itch.io. Oh yeah, Arcana Familia, that's the one I want. That's on my backlog of ones I want to get eventually. But I'm just thinking that there's a lot of ones I just have not played yet that others have. Pure Fury is one. Cafe A Chante I was thinking about, but never ended up getting it. Bust of Fellows 2, Season 2, that is one also on the list. Oh, it's just like we are spoiled for choice, essentially. There is a bunch that comes out. So I definitely need to decide which ones to go for. I actually, in terms of, I think because there's all these choices now, that I'm actually very picky on Otome games I play. Now that we have so many options, I have to be very focused on the games that I want to play or see. So usually when I'm, you know, trying to decide on an Otome game, one of the things is like the plot. I'm like, ooh, does the plot sound interesting? Because I am very much heavy on the plot, less on the romance side. So I want the plot to be very interesting, or the setting to be super unique. So I've basically haven't really played any school setting or, you know, kind of like just modern day type Otome games. I like it if it's like, yeah, like a kind of different, unique setting to it. So, you know, fantasy is one that's always gonna be around. I like, maybe if there's like some action, you know, like, because Buster Fellows, Collar X Malice, they're like both kind of modern day setting, but they, you know, they're like action packed, right? There's it's like an action movie when you kind of play through the story. So I like that. It's exciting. Oh yeah, I also played through Variable Barricade. So yeah, one thing is like story. So I like rom-coms, I like action types, you know, suspense maybe, or mystery elements. there is. Well, I was literally just thinking about it. Oh yeah, Variable Barricade. That was what I was playing before. There's a variable. Really liked. What really piqued my interest in Variable Barricade was the protagonist. Actually, I liked her style. I liked the fact that she was like a tsundere ojo-sama. So basically, unique protagonist. And it's like what draws me in. I thought the plot of it was interesting, with the fact that, you know, she's a rich heiress. Her grandfather is trying to get her set up with a husband, and she's got these suitors that are after her, and she's got, you know, she's got to pick her future husband, but she's having none of that. She is actually a kind person, but it's just a really prickly, basically tsundere. But I liked her, so I like Hibari, and that was what I enjoyed about Variable Barricade. Like, the bachelors are okay, but I think it's the protagonist that I really like the most. So yeah, this, you know, modern day setting here, but I like the protagonist in this case. What I really want to see more of, though, is horror Otome games. Because I really enjoy psychological horror. I really like suspense. In terms of like horror games, I do like, you know, playing through horror games, and mainly, yeah, the psychological horror, like visual novels. More so than, you know, survival and shooter types. So I really loved Homicipher. Like, Homicipher is one of my favorite Otome games. I played so much out of that. I really like the fact that, you know, I guess the whatever love interest, the routes you can go on were literally inhuman choices. They were monsters / ghosts. So it's just very interesting in that sense. I really liked Homicipher, and I kind of wish to see something else come out that's like similar to it. So I want to see more kind of monster boy choices that are not, you know, just vampires, because I feel like vampires are overdone at this point. I was never really a vampire girly, you know. Even when like Twilight was like a huge thing. And, you know, vampires handsome vampires in fiction media have been around for ages, but I was never really into that. So, I don't know. I guess, like, I think, yeah, vampires, they can be like pretty handsome, really cool, but I never go like, oh, I'm specifically into the vampire guys. So I want to see other types of monsters. I want, you know, some more creative liberties. Because, you know, I understand we want the guys to be conventionally attractive, but we can't have them be conventionally attractive and also be non-human. Because it'd be kind of interesting to see that way, so. Or just like, you know, whatever horror genre combined with Otome. Even if the guys are human, if we can incorporate some horror elements in it. Because when I think about it, Homicipher is really the one I think of. I played one recently on stream that was called Lover's Enigma, that was combining kind of like the creepy atmospheric horror with dating sim, so that one seems really promising. I hope they do well. They're still in development. Then there is a lot of yandere games. That's if I want to get horror otomes, it looks like I have to start going into yandere type games. But I'm kind of picky with those because I am picky with the type of yanderes that I like. So I like them a certain way, and if it's kind of like a fine line. So I feel like some yandere games are like too heavy-handed with him being like absolutely like crazy or insane. But I kind of like it when it's more like you don't really expect it as much. So there was a bunch actually I played yandere wise. Unfortunately none of them have been completed yet. They're all still in development or in demo. Excuse me. But yeah, Lover's Enigma was one. Then there was like Prescription Love, the Yandere Doctor. There was Online Obsession. I was liking the vibe of those. Like it was going in a direction where I'm like, ooh, I'm kind of pulled in. I want to know what happens next. You know, I want to see more of how the story unfolds. So I'm hoping, you know, they will do well. So then I could play more horror type, even if they're just through a yandere lens, I suppose. But I also feel maybe it's just me being picky, you know. But I would actually like to see more Otome's idea, like different Otome ideas. You know, there's I talk about horror genre. I think maybe it'd be kind of interesting if the MC herself was a yandere, you know, kind of like a reverse, where we're the yandere and you don't really realize until, you know, you're going through the route of a guy and you're like, huh, why are my choices getting increasingly unhinged and weird? It'd be kind of an interesting area to explore. I want to see more of that. And also sci-fi Otome. There's not a lot of like mecha crossover with Otome. I think it'd be cool if we had a protagonist. Maybe she's like, I don't know, a Gundam pilot or some like a mecha, like a ship captain, and you know, leading some like ship brigade in space. I mean, you know, we haven't had a lot of sci-fi Otomes that way. We should go with space, not just love in deep space. I guess I is kind of in space, sort of, but not fully, not quite. Though I do like, you know, how in Love in Deep Space the main character is, you know, a hunter. She goes and fights, you know, fights the enemies, and you know, she can whatever go into battle on her own. That's all cool. I would like to see, yeah, maybe sci-fi, you know, some horror, some sci-fi and stuff. I feel like there are some mystery Otomes. Oh yeah, mystery Otomes. I feel like there's probably mystery Otomes I'm not aware of. But I think it would be kind of, you know, I guess Tears of Themis is one. I almost forgot about Tears of Themis. I never played it, but I was tempted to at one point. Tears of Themis, where you know, she's a lawyer, right? So she's like basically investigating things or piecing together clues. There's also something like that before, a mobile called like Liar Uncover the Truth, where you have like 10 guys and you try to figure out which one is actually Mr. Right, because the 9 of them are liars and only one of them is the actual like good guy that you can go for. And that one kind of had like some, you know, investigative elements, and then you call them out on their lies and stuff like that. It was fun. It was such a silly little game, but I enjoyed it. I kind of want to see that more of that. I know there is the there is definitely, there's gotta be like indie Otomes with like Ace Attorney mystery detective style elements in it, so I'm probably just not aware of it. There was one I'm thinking of, but the name slips my mind right now. But I know, I'm trying to remember her. Funny enough, I remember the main character's name. What was it? Yes, Mirage Noir. Yeah, so Mirage Noir was what I was thinking of. Like the mystery detective type Otome game. Still in development. Still a bunch of stuff. I mean, it's still in development for the most part. Which is really cool. I like that we now have, you know, we're the entry barrier for, you know, creating Otome games is pretty low. It has gotten pretty low over the years. I feel like it's always very accessible, you know, as long as you had even, you know, looking at those Flash games. There's always resources to create Otome games, so now we get, you know, different people trying out different styles and a lot of indie developers, which I think is like super cool. It's always nice to explore new ideas, but yeah, I feel like there are still ideas that haven't been fully utilized yet. I want to see, you know, some mecha sci-fi Otome. I want to see more horror style comes out. I'm always a sucker for rom-coms. Whatnot. I don't know what other types there are. Is there cooking Otome? I don't remember. Maybe we can have Cooking Mama Otome game or something. It's more use of the like mini games. Something also like Tokimeki. I just want Tokimeki Memorial. I just need that to be brought over. I want to play it localized. I want the Western world who can't read Japanese, to be introduced to that series because it's really so good. And I'm like, I know, oh yeah, of course, you know, itch.io, right? You can get games off Steam. You can get them off itch.io. So I'm always like poking around there, see what they got to play. That's why I'm always like playing demos on my channel, because I like to see what people are cooking up, what kind of ideas that they got. Actually, maybe I should check out what's on itch.io right now. I forget what tags. I think there is an actual Otome tag. I just gotta remember. Oh, that's anime, but is there one just Otome? Oh yeah. Yeah, there's always like new ones coming out. Like I played A Date with Death, that was really cute. Prescription Love, that was the Yandere Doctor one that I'm waiting to see if they will update it. I know they're working on something else right now. Heartstop Tour, that's the full game I just played on stream last week. Yeah, a bunch of Yandere ones here. I know there's more things. Subject Love, that was like really cute. But yeah, people are just coming up with like really cool stuff. There's always like new visual novels to play. Though I'm like, the only thing is that I feel like a lot of these are in like demo hell. Like they just fall into this. You know, they have the demo, it's a really good idea. They either are unable to secure the funding to develop the game fully, or you know, life happens and they can't finish it for some reason or another. Or you know, they're working on something else and just don't come back to it. One of them being Snow White Ashes, because Snow White Ashes was actually so good. It was one where I'm like, I play a bunch of games, and I mean, yeah, no, most of the games are very good, but Snow White Ashes, I loved the writing for it. It was beautiful. It reminded me of House of Fata, the House in Fata Morgana, which is one of my favorite visual novels. And I think the writing of it was just so good. It like really moved me, basically. It was just so well written, and I hope that they will finish the game someday because I really loved it. What else is there? There is, yeah, there's like, wow. It's like every time I come back here, I'm like, hey, there's more stuff. I might actually, you know, play more of these on stream to see what they're all about. It's wild that a lot of these too are just like free, and you're like, wow, you guys are coming up with masterpieces and just letting us be able to play it for free here. Oh wow. And then there's like, yeah, different lengths of it too. But yeah, there's just so many of it. Oh. I'm gonna like go down a rabbit hole if I keep browsing through all of them and looking at all of them, because I love to all like the fan games. You got like, oh my god, there's a Jujutsu Kaisen. Wait, they finally have a Nanami one? Oh my god. Another one piece. I saw that they had the Gojo one. I didn't realize they had Nanami one. Now I'm curious. I gotta look into this. Oh my god. I might play this, you guys. Now I see they exist. Okay. Oh, you get the full game. Oh my goodness. Alright. Maybe that'll be the next stream. Not that I don't exist. Because I was like, I'm not really a Gojo girl. I'm not really into Satoru. But I'm like, oh, Nanami. Okay. Maybe we can play that another time. But like, more Yandere ones like I'm thinking of, because I just do love me some suspense horror games. But yeah, I love it. How much we've come. How far we've come. From the early days of Otome, from me playing Flash games online to now having all of these wonderful choices. It's just so nice. I might be like, oh, kids these days, they get all of these Otome game options. They're absolutely spoiled for choice. In a good way. I want more people to get into Otome games. It is kind of interesting because I find there is an Otome community, but it is quite scattered. Like, you know, you can find people that are like into specific animes, you know, you can form like a whole community being like, I really like watching Naruto, or I really like Demon Slayer, or like Free Red, and there'll be like a big enough group gathered. But I feel like Otome game community, it's hard because there's so many Otome games, right? So some people have played some games, others have not. So unless it's like something huge like Love and Deep Space, I find it sometimes difficult to find other people to talk about Otome games with. Both online and IRL as well. Because it's just everyone's playing different things. It's really hard for us all to be in the same boat at the same time. I mean, there is like, you know, the Otome like Twitter community, and also on Reddit as well. There's a community there. But yeah, when I go to like conventions, for example, you don't really see a lot of merchandise for like Otome games. If I want to be like, I want to get merch of like Cupid Parasite. I'm lucky maybe if one or two tables, one or two artists might draw for it. It's not easy when it's doesn't you can't really go mainstream with it unless it's Love and Deep Space. That one's pretty mainstream. Trying to think of what other I've got a lot of other Otomes there, because in terms of I'm thinking of Otomes I don't like, but they're very far and like very few in between. I'm actually still trying to finish Tengoku Struggle. I've been trying to finish this game for ages. I think this was one of like the games that I went in thinking it was gonna be a certain way, and then it wasn't quite what I expected, and so I've been struggling to finish it. Struggle to finish it because I just didn't really find it as interesting as I thought it would be. Like, I really wanted to play through Goemon's route, like the poster boy basically of this game, but I had to play through everyone's route first before I can play his, and unfortunately so far I have not really been that invested in the other routes. Like, I played them and I'm like, okay, you know, that was all right, that was cool, next. So I'm actually struggling to finish this game. I think I have basically one more route to do before I can do the final guy, but I am just trying to motivate myself to get to the end. I don't know, something about it was missing. I think it's the same for me with Norn 9, because I did actually play through all of Norn 9, but this was one of the Otome games where I think a lot of people enjoyed it, but I was one of the few, I think, that didn't really like it as much. I mean, there are certain elements I really enjoyed, but I think it was sort of just flat for me in a lot of places too. Because for Norn 9, I really like the fact that they used 3 different heroines in this game. So there are 9 guys, and each heroine has, 3 different guys that she can go on, like, have a route with, which I thought was really interesting. Because then, you get 3 different personalities. You have the more, like, kind of quiet, soft-spoken type, which were paired with the, I feel like standard, like, happy, friendly, sort of Genki type, and then, the more reserved, elegant Ojo-sama type. So it was kind of interesting to play through 3 different heroines and then see her reactions with, like, her respective whatever love interests in their routes. So I actually really did like that aspect of it, be able to see all these different dynamics, and also it keeps things fresh, because then we're not seeing the same girl with like 9 different guys, which I'm okay with most of the time, but I did like being able to explore different areas. So that part I was okay with. I vaguely remember the story. The story was kind of interesting, but I feel like it lost me at one part. For near the end, there's like something about a traitor. There's a traitor in Norn 9, and I'm like, okay, it's gotta be like the most suspicious looking guy there, right? Can't be, actually. It'd be too obvious if it was the most suspicious looking guy, but then it ended up being the most suspicious looking guy. So I'm like, okay, well, so much for that. But I like some parts of it, but I felt like if I try to retell you the story, to be honest, I don't remember much of it. it had a very good world building. It had a very good setup that really stuck with me, but I think a lot of parts of the story were just really boring. And I just didn't. It wasn't as memorable, I guess, to me. They had an anime too, but even then, I found it hard for me to actually sit down and watch the anime. Maybe it's the pacing. I think I just can't really play a lot of slice of lives anymore. Like school settings, slice of life types. I think I just crave more like, I don't know, action in my otomes on a personal preference. So yeah, Nor 9 wasn't, it was okay. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't really my jam. Because, you know, going back to, I really liked Code Realize and Caller X Malice. They had a lot of stuff, a lot of plot that was going on. And then what else? Aside from... Yeah, so it's like Tengoku Struggle I'm still finishing. Nor 9, wasn't really feeling it. And of course I have played Hatoful Boyfriend, of course. I have played Hatoful Boyfriend. That was quite the experience. That was actually really fun. I kind of like that, you know, it's take something really weird, but then make it actually like you think it'd be like a silly game about dating birds, but then the lore goes so deep. It's actually crazy. There is actually so much plot and background and world building behind Hatoful Boyfriend that you don't expect. And I think it's because you drop your guard that when they introduce all the background stuff to you as like a twist, it actually does just take you by surprise. So that was an enjoyable experience. And I think the only other game that I wasn't into, such as Nor 9, was Amnesia. That's another one. Amnesia was really popular. Like the Otome game Amnesia, because they also had an anime, and I think a lot of people like played it or enjoyed it. Oops, I had specified. But I just wasn't feeling it. I played 2 routes and I was really bored. So I guess Amnesia just wasn't my thing. I mean, the guys look pretty, the art is nice, you know, but I don't think it was for me. I played through Toma's route and I played through Shin's route, but I think I started playing through Ken's route, but I just found the pacing of the game to be really slow, and it just wasn't for me. I just got bored too fast. So even with whatever kind of mystery element that was going on, something just didn't click with me. So unfortunately, I did not finish Amnesia, which is a shame because I'm like, oh, they do have an anime and it is pretty popular in terms of like you know, Otome games that people have played. Just wasn't for me this time. Which, I mean, sometimes I don't know until I actually play the game. You know? But it's a shame because sometimes I'll buy like a Otome game, you know, it's like $80 now on Switch, and then I'm just like not feeling it. I'm like, but I feel like I have to play through it because I spent $80 on it. So if I don't finish the whole game, I don't play through everyone's route, it almost feels like a waste. But at the same time, I just sometimes can't be bothered to finish routes I don't care about. There's just some like the love interest routes. I'm just like, I really just don't care about this character. I only want to play for my boy, and that's it. So that's my dilemma. That's my dilemma. I've like never finished Amnesia. I'm the opposite of a completionist. There are some games that I will pick up, I play one route, and I'm done. Or I just like don't finish a game and I don't even bother to go back. to it. I rather only play what I enjoy rather than trying to force myself through the game. Maybe I'm missing out, you know. I know there's some that you have to play through several routes to really appreciate it, but I am a working woman. I have only so much limited time, and so I only play the parts I like to play, or only for the guy I want to go after and don't care about anyone else. Yeah, you know what? I think that's how long was I yapping for? An hour? An hour more? Okay, more. I'm almost 2 hours of me yapping about Otome games. For those of you who are somehow still in the chat or like watching, I hope you guys enjoy or enjoyed listening to me yap about it. I've been playing Otome games for quite some time. I do like how we have so many choices now. Now, for those of you in the chat, if you do play Otome games, I'd be curious to know which ones you're playing or which ones you're looking forward to in the future. I mean, I think I'm done for the night here. I talked a lot about Tokimeki Memorial, of course, and it is all the stuff that I've played. Now, if anyone wants to convince me that I should somehow finish Tengoku Struggle, please do. I need an extra push to finish some of these games. But anyways, thank you everyone for joining me on my yap session tonight. I just wanted to informally talk about this. Talk about these games. I'm sure I will probably yap more about them in the future as well and play some other demos to come up, so you can keep an eye out. Maybe I'll be playing more demos in the future on my channel. For the time being, thank you everyone for joining me tonight. I hope you all have a great day, great night, wherever you are. Make sure you eat and hydrate, and take care until next time. I'll see y'all in the next video or stream. There's next stream will probably be next week, so I'll be gone the rest of the week. So good night everyone, and this is Koa Miyo clocking out. Bye bye.